You ask most people what their number one fear is. What do you think it is? Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay? I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
Mel Gibson is back in the headlines, and this time, it's not just because of his legendary performances in Mad Max or Braveheart. His latest project, Sound of Freedom, has Hollywood buzzing, and not in the way you might expect. The controversy isn't about his acting chops. It's about his bold stand against what he calls a suffocating wave of woke culture. Interestingly, Gibson saw this storm coming years ago. In an eye-opening interview with John Lithgow 6 years back, he warned of Hollywood's drastic shift, hinting that the industry was heading for a reckoning. He put it this way:
I've never seen Hollywood quite so shaken by anything.
It's a little late.
So we'll see how it all shakes down. Hopefully it clears the air a little bit.
What started as a push for fairness and equality has, in Gibson's eyes, morphed into something far more oppressive. He argues that woke culture no longer champions justice. It polices thought. In his words, it's become a beast that crushes creativity and enforces silence on anyone who dares to disagree. To paint the picture, Gibson likens Hollywood to a rigid priesthood, quick to punish and exile those who refuse to bow to its doctrines. And when he says he's had enough, he means it.
Generally passively sit by and tolerate any kind of nonsense, but if one of their priests utters something that resembles orthodoxy, well then they spring into action, they reprimand him, and they bully him and do their best to cancel him. And it's succeeding. They drum him out of the service, you know. Off he goes.
From day one, Sound of Freedom faced resistance from major studios. Why? Because this film didn't just tiptoe around political correctness, it bulldozed right through it. The movie shines a harsh light on one of the darkest issues imaginable: child trafficking in Latin America, a subject Hollywood often skirts around. Executives hoped the project would quietly disappear, but Gibson and his team refused to back down. Instead, they launched a bold, calculated plan, a staggered release across multiple countries. This clever approach kept the film alive in the public conversation and turned it into a growing phenomenon.
The social contract. You can't get mad. You can't get mad. You can't let it get you, because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be fucked over at some point.
The result? That strategy didn't just work, it rewrote the playbook. Sound of Freedom went on to smash box office expectations, shocking an industry that never saw it coming. But the real story wasn't just the ticket sales. The film sparked fierce conversations about corruption in entertainment and exposed the hypocrisy that lurks behind Hollywood's glossy facade. While most movies fade after opening weekend, this one refused to die down. It stayed in the headlines, forcing audiences and the industry to confront an ugly truth the elite had long tried to ignore.
Sound of Freedom is smashing it at the box office and is being attacked continually by the mainstream. Is that because it's a box office success?
Hollywood didn't take this lightly. The backlash was fast and brutal. Major media outlets lined up to tear Sound of Freedom apart, painting it as problematic and divisive. Why? Because the film didn't just succeed, it threatened the very narrative the industry has worked so hard to protect. Instead of shrinking from the fight, Gibson doubled down. He became the loudest voice championing the movie, blasting the hypocrisy of an industry that loves to flaunt its social conscience, yet looks the other way when the issue is child trafficking.
The recruiters weren't the guys. It wasn't some weird dude in a mask, glasses, and a white van. It was a woman. It was a non-threatening person. So this 17-year-old girl recruits this 10-year-old and was horrified what happened. So she promises this girl candy and ice cream. But what she finds is a bunch of guys that kidnapped her, shot her full of fentanyl, and she had to hear this 10-year-old girl for the next 2 hours.
In his latest interviews, Gibson didn't hold back. He accused Hollywood of abandoning its true purpose, telling real stories in favor of pushing political agendas. Today, breaking from the approved narrative isn't just risky, it's a one-way ticket to exile. Yet Gibson has come back more determined than ever To him, the industry's greatest hypocrisy is crystal clear. They're quick to cancel anyone who dares to challenge their ideology, while quietly ignoring the very problems they claim to care about when it suits them.
That's how this town has been running for so long. They'll mute you. They'll try to mute you at all costs.
Sound of Freedom ripped the mask off Hollywood's polished image. Some praised its bravery, but many insiders rushed to dismiss it as nothing more than fear-mongering. Still, the global audience told a different story. Backed by millions of supporters and Gibson's relentless drive, the film didn't just survive, it exploded. Its success left an undeniable mark on the industry, shaking the foundations of the so-called rules Hollywood has long tried to impose.
From beginning to end, it's very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better. And it's like, whoa.
In today's Hollywood, playing by the rules of woke often matters more than telling the truth. The industry loves to parade as a champion of justice, yet behind the curtain, it clings to image management instead of tackling uncomfortable realities. When a movie challenges that agenda, their instinct is to crush it, ironically amplifying the very message they want to bury. Amid this culture of conformity, Mel Gibson refuses to blend in. Unlike the safe, box-ticking projects Hollywood churns out, his films provoke, question, and disturb. Hacksaw Ridge is a perfect example, a brutal, heartfelt portrayal of a medic who saved 75 lives in World War II without firing a single shot. The story was raw, unfiltered, and emotionally explosive, everything the industry usually sanitizes. Critics loved it, audiences embraced it, and Gibson walked away with yet another Oscar nod. More importantly, it proved what he has always believed. People are hungry for truth, not politically packaged fiction, and he's not done yet. With the Passion of the Christ, resurrection on the horizon, Gibson is preparing to stir even more controversy. In a Hollywood that dodges or waters down faith-based stories, his unapologetic embrace of Christian themes makes him an outlier, and he doesn't care about the backlash. That boldness has earned him respect from unlikely allies. Robert Downey Jr., for one, credits Gibson with lifting him out of his darkest moments, urging him to hold on to faith, not someone else's faith, but his own, rooted in forgiveness. It's a side of Gibson the tabloids rarely show. Loyal, compassionate, and deeply human.
Actually, I asked Mel to present this award to me for a reason, because when I couldn't get sober, he told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. Didn't have to be his or anyone else's as long as it was rooted in forgiveness.
Hollywood's reaction to Gibson exposes a glaring double standard. When big names like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson get tangled in serious controversies, even whispers of ties to child trafficking, the outrage is muted. Some defend them, others step back quietly, but a full-scale media assault? Rare. Now flip the script. The moment Gibson dares to call out woke culture, the backlash hits like a tidal wave. Headlines, smear pieces, and character assassinations. Proof that in Hollywood the rules aren't applied equally, and Gibson knows it better than anyone.
In today's easy cancel culture world, and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me.
Here's the difference. Mel Gibson doesn't cave. He's seen Hollywood's ugliest corners, survived scandals that would have ended most careers, and endured years of blacklisting, only to come back stronger, sharper, and with a mission. For him, this fight isn't just about movies. It's about rescuing what storytelling is meant to be. So what does this mean for Hollywood's future? One thing is clear. Gibson isn't going anywhere. While the industry doubles down on its woke agenda, he's standing his ground, and he's not alone. More and more viewers, frustrated with the status quo, are rallying to his side. They see in Gibson something rare in today's climate, the courage to speak his mind, no matter the cost.
It does feel different. I think because, I don't know, I think just because I've been around longer, it's different. Yeah. I'm more relaxed about the whole thing, you know, because there's no point in being anything else, right?
It's true.
So, you know, I'm not gonna get all wound up about it. I'm gonna just try and observe.
Yeah.
But this fight is far from finished. Hollywood is still a fortress, a powerful machine that crushes most challengers. Yet Gibson keeps charging forward, undeterred by the giants in his path. Love him or hate him, one thing's undeniable: he's making waves. The pressure is building, and the industry knows it. As Hollywood struggles to balance artistic freedom with social agendas, Gibson remains a lightning rod for controversy. To some, he's a trailblazer, tearing down walls others won't touch. To others, he's out of step with the times. But no matter where you stand, his defiance forces an uncomfortable question. How much control should any system have over the stories we tell? Gibson's relentless push for raw, provocative narratives, even in the face of backlash, has sparked a bigger debate about freedom of expression in modern culture.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
At the heart of it, Gibson's mission isn't just about picking fights with Hollywood, it's about reclaiming storytelling. He believes in confronting the hard truths, the ones most people would rather sweep under the rug. And clearly that message is striking a chord. More and more viewers, tired of formulaic, politically safe narratives, are flocking to his work. As Hollywood wrestles with its own identity crisis, voices like Gibson's are forcing the industry to pause and rethink its priorities. Whether you see him as a fearless visionary or a man out of step with the times, one thing is certain: his impact is impossible to ignore. Now the question is yours. Is Mel Gibson leading a cultural reset in Hollywood? Or is he just fighting a battle he can't win? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more stories that dig beyond the headlines, make sure to like this video and subscribe for updates.